Se ne va azzurro, il pomeriggio è troppo azzurro e lungo per me. Mi accorgo di non avere più risorse senza di te. E allora io quasi quasi prendo il treno e vengo da te. Il treno dei desideri, dei miei pensieri all'incontrario va.
Cari amici sportivi, welcome to another edition of the Red Card Weekly. Here we mostly speak about Serie A, sometimes from international, sometimes from European, and yes, we're not professionals, nor do we pretend to be. Your two co-hosts, always faithfully, every Sunday, we have Steve. In defense, Mexes is kind of clever, said no AC Milan fan ever. Believe it? And I am Vince. I really thought Milan was going to come out at full throttle, but in the end, what happened is I got to hit the bottom, Tavernese. And a shout out to one of our new followers, Joe Tavernese, probably a cugino somewhere, I think he's from Montreal. Ciao, Joe Tavernese. We're very few and very special. So Steve, we're going to get to our show. We've got a lot of stuff to go through. We just finished watching Roma and Napoli. So I know you have a little announcement that you want to make there for our Red Card Weekly followers and viewers.
Yeah, we're going to get the show on the road. Just a quick little note, next week Steve's going to be on vacation. He's going to be in the... Oh my God. Again, this fantastic music. I will be on vacation.
Hey, Justin El Gol has had some really bad music lately, so I needed to bring it by popular demand. People have been asking.
Yeah. Anyways, I'll be on vacation next week, so we're going to skip next week's show there, but as you'll see from this week, really not going to be too much to talk about after the results of today.
What a fantastic music.
Yeah, it's fantastic, fantastic. We just keep on hearing the same music over and over and over.
So, why don't we just start off on Saturday's game. We're going with these marvelous highlights provided by yours truly. Can we say we're surprised? Can we say that, you know, obviously not a merited, sorry, so let me put it up because I know you're going to throw me something soon. I wasn't expecting, you know, I wish for a win, I think we both did, but in the end, it's like we just came back from a performance against Juventus that we played better than what we've been playing, you know, with the chances. But once again, it came back to this, Steve, against Udinese. That Udinese was needing a win after a month. And does it come down to, Steve, not having the players to finish what, like, Pazzini missed a call, even though like he went at it all game, but what's his name, Zapata do with that header, and in the end, that the laws of soccer, a counter-attack, Di Natale, the Milan killer. Steve.
Yeah, missed chances is basically the entire, you could sum up the whole game by missed chances. Look guys, we knew that this was going to be one of those trap games. Seedorf and all of Milan, they're looking to the Champions League away confrontation against Atletico. You obviously saw a little bit of a turnaround there, which I don't know how we could do this turnaround because we don't have the depth, as you saw the players played on the field, to do this turnaround. Look, Milan just sucked yesterday. It was obvious. They just really didn't have it yesterday. Are you thinking to Tuesday's game against Atletico? Unfortunately, it's not an excuse. They'll get over it. But look, we don't have the players. It's obvious. People who think that Milanese around think that we do have the players to compete for the Scudetto, look, obviously you're joking yourself.
Yeah.
Because it's very obvious that it's in a transition. It will take time though. Look, before when we had Allegri, we were complaining about tactics where we were too defensive, too passive. Now we're offensive. We're creating the chances. It was a great tweet from Azzurro Milan.
Yeah.
He knows that I do support a lot of the things that he does say when he doesn't go mental. But in this case here, where he's saying that yes, we do produce a lot of shots on goal, but only a couple on target and no goals. Look, unfortunately, this is what you're going to have to live with if you want to see Milan succeed. They do have to build and do have to create an identity. Milan has always had an identity, which they've lost right now.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to take baby steps to find this identity. And every other club in Serie A has gone through the same thing. Milan, fortunately or unfortunately, we were spoiled with the results from the 90s and so on and so forth. We were always competitive in the 2000s as well. Now it's the downfall. We've hit the lowest point of Milan, and it's only up from here. That's the only positive that I could find from that game.
So we'll see what happens on Tuesday. I'm still got that hope that we're going to be the Chelsea of 2 years ago. We're going to like finish 9th or 10th. And
I don't think we're going to be the Chelsea of 2 years ago.
Taking it over to this morning at 7:30. At least that was a nice little break instead of a 6:30. Juventus Fiorentina. A good game.
Okay. I'm going to stop you right here. The Scudetto is officially officially given to Juventus. They can concentrate on playing the Europa League and trying to win the Europa League, which is good for Italy. I don't want them to win because I don't care about Juventus. But they can go to the Europa League, play in the Juventus Stadium with Johnny Depp lookalike Osvaldo, and so on and so forth.
And this will be 30 Scudetto?
Who knows? Only the Juventus can calculate which combination.
Lenny, let us know how many Scudettos you guys have, how many stars you need. But yeah, you know what? I think we could just hand it over to them. Juventus Fiorentina. A couple of polemiche. People want to talk about polemiche about the refused goal that was not really offside. But then we're going to talk about Vargas that got Pogba. But in the end, Juventus got it done. I can't say maybe our friend Jinkers would be able to, if Giuseppe Rossi was in the lineup or Borja Valero was in the lineup.
Yes, it was obvious it was going to change the game tremendously if Borja Valero did not get this ridiculous, stupid 3-match suspension for absolutely no reason. Yes, it was going to change if Giuseppe Rossi was going to be in the lineup. Girona before, when they played in Florence, he single-handedly won the game for Fiorentina. Yeah. Now, the Juventus dominate the game. Look, you played a Fiorentina that's what they had to give. That's what they had to offer. They put it all out there. You cannot, as a coach like Montal, you cannot ask for anything more from Fiorentina than what they gave. That's what they had to give.
I know that there was a little tweet there by Juventus, the official Juventus FC, saying, it was nice per pranzo, ci vediamo per la cena. For the Europa League on Thursday. Should be interesting. I would like to see them both taking it seriously and going at it. We'll see what happens.
Oh, I think they will take it seriously. I think they will take it seriously because it was already a rivalry, and it's just going to become an even bigger rivalry because they really can't stand each other. And it's good to see, and I like to see more of that in soccer.
Taking over at 10 o'clock with a couple of... I watched Inter play. Inter, it seems that they sometimes resemble a bit Milan, but in the end, whenever they have those chances, they seem to... And they haven't won very pretty these last couple of games, but they're winning, right? And for the mentality of the players, and Palacio, what a fantastic goal headed in. Torino had their chances as well, but in the end, maybe because there was Wanda was there with Maxi Lopez's kids for Icardi. But Inter, do we see them challenging probably, because even Parma won, obviously those 5th and 6th spots for
Inter, they've won enough at the beginning of the year and they continue to win ugly games, which gives them 3 points, and just continue to chase after those Europa League spots. We see Verona quickly sliding down as I predicted. Yeah. Everything goes back to normal after this in the second half. Nostro Polillo, I try my best sometimes. If I could guess who wins the World Cup, that would be great as well, which I predicted before in the earlier shows, as you can check back on YouTube.
So Inter with a 1-0 win there at home. Then we take it over to Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Lazio. Here's a team that wins in Florence against Fiorentina, and then plays Atalanta at home. I'm not trying to take, I'm not trying to say Atalanta is subpar, but games against Atalanta at home with Steve Lazio, you have to win these games, man. I don't understand this team, and we've reached out to our Lazio fans to maybe somehow explain some psychological thing going on. So Milan, what we're going through, I don't know. Is it worse for Lazio because they really can't expect what the hell they're going to see every day?
Well, they're ahead of us in the table, so that's one positive. You could look at it that way. The other thing with Lazio is that I waited for this just to explain them, because I just took a look at the Tabellone today. It's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde throughout almost the entire Serie A.
Yeah.
You never know what you're going to get. Besides Juventus, who continue to win and they're ahead of the schedule, in the standings. But look, and we'll add Parma there too, because they could just continue to win and play very entertaining football. But from everybody else, you don't know which Inter is going to show up. You don't know which Milan is going to show up. You don't know which Fiorentina is going to show up. You don't know which Roma is going to show up. You don't know which Napoli is going to show up. You don't know which Torino is going to show up.
That's true. That's a very good point, Steve. Yeah.
And it goes on, and it continues. You don't know which Genoa is going to show up today against Chievo.
Yeah.
They decided to lay an egg. Guys, if you take a look at it, it's exactly like that. You don't know which team on any given weekend, which team will show up from no matter which matchup you're going to get.
Even Bologna today, like maybe a great chance for him to actually get a win at home against S.S.C. You can't even manage to do that. But that's the beauty of Serie A. I just wish there was less points gaps between the teams.
We started at the beginning of the year where it was a really tight race, and I was, again, I'm going to repeat it again, very adamant towards Roma and Napoli, who could have contended.
Exactly.
Who could have contended, but both had just dry spells of where they did not get points and where Juve got full points. And that's the separation that you're going to get.
I would say that if we see some Italian teams in the Europa League advance a bit further than we were expecting, I think it will be a success for Italian soccer, but right now it is suffering. The perfect example is a team like Juventus running well on Serie A against these teams that you might have 2 or 3 teams that are above average, everybody else is average, including Milan, but then you go into Europe and you can't manage to do anything. So hopefully we can see them advance and see where Italian soccer takes us.
The perfect scenario would be all the teams advance and Milan can get over this Atletico and move on to the next round and see what happens, even if they get eliminated, just to continue to accumulate these points which no one knows how to calculate but FIFA.
There we go. And we did have, guys, the big game, and I would like to say this is probably the best Serie A game that I've seen. Can I say all year? Possibly all year. And I don't understand how at halftime it wasn't 2-2 or even Roma missing so many chances. All of a sudden, Pepe Reina and Morgan DeSantis, all of a sudden they don't want to goaltend.
Obviously there was no paparas for dinner tonight.
No, definitely
That's
not.
for sure. Both goalers, they stood on their head, they made some nice saves. Pepe Reina, no own goal, that's always a positive. DeSantis just made some really good saves. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was on Caillon on a breakaway. Yeah. And he stuck out the pad. He looked like a goaltender from the NHL.
Both even Pepe Reina did it to Gervinho at 1.2, and it was a fantastic, entertaining game.
It was a good up and down game. I'm happy both teams went for it. Fortunately, one team had to win that game. A tie was not going to do anybody any good. It happened to go in the favor of Napoli with a great goal by Caillon again, by a header.
Fantastic header, yeah.
They have actually some people who could put in some decent crosses, which Milan obviously do not.
No, definitely not. But in the end, Napoli with the win, and I think this is going to be the battle of that second and third spot, like, for the Europa League, for the Champions and the Europa. But in the end, Roma, it's crazy when you look at the stats of with Totti, without Totti, and it's crazy to really think, how does a player really make such a difference? And is it not basically just his talent, but maybe what he brings to the pitch and how he makes everybody around him better and a different mentality. But Gervinho too today, sometimes it's like, I know what you're trying, but at one point I remember when he was in that corner, he was trying to go about, he was doing an ballad over there, and there's a couple of guys on the other side. I don't know, Steve. I don't know if Roma's. Look, we've conceded the Scudetto already.
Yeah,
right?
Of course. The new title race in the Serie A is not for the Scudetto; it's for second and third place. Yeah. The couple of teams that will battle it out, for sure, it's Roma, Napoli, and Fiorentina, looking to interchange on that. But even at Fiorentina, look, if I'm not mistaken, they're already assured a Europa League spot. Just being with in the Coppa Italia
when you win the
Italia final.
Yeah.
So that's already something for them. There was a tweet out with any meaningless games. If they don't progress in Europa League past Juventus, today was probably the last meaningless game they'll have to play until Coppa Italia. Yeah. I forgot who tweeted that out. It was great. It stuck in my mind.
So that takes us through this whole week. So as Steve was saying, no Red Card Weekly. Next week you will be, unless you want to film via satellite from the sand.
Maybe I'll show you guys some of the sexy body.
So we were. Oh, sorry. I didn't realize the volume went up there by itself.
This guy controls the volume from his laptop.
Our red cards of the week. First of all, thank you for all newer followers. 493. We're almost there at 500. Thanks for always.
We're at 100 subscribers on YouTube, so that's fucking great.
Actually, 103.
Yeah.
But thank you very much for everybody. Red cards. My red card's gonna go to not just the Twitter world, and the other kind of social media. That, you know what? If you're entitled to your own opinion. Whether you want to love Milan or hate Milan, that's okay. But when you start saying things like Seedorf this and Seedorf should have done this, and excuse me, I believe Seedorf has a bit more experience than any of us put together, and there's a reason why he's doing these kind of things. So leave the guy alone. Stop. I don't come and tell you about what your hockey team, how he plays, and who's the trio, second trio, third trio. I don't talk about it because I don't know about hockey. The trio. Don't come and tell me they should have played this formation, or queste tifose, you know what, that's my red card to tifose occasionali. Just shut your mouths, please. Thank you.
Yeah, my red card's gonna go to Prandelli.
To Prandelli?
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Prandelli because we had a friendly against Spain.
Yeah.
And Verratti didn't see the field. There's a big problem with that. There's a very big problem with that.
Maybe PSG didn't want him to play?
I don't care about PSG. I don't care because Conte said Prandelli should have called him for Chiellini, and Conte even knew it's very obvious that he was not going to play him. He just called him. That's okay. But there was a good video by Azzurro Milan. I'm going to go back to him, and this is where I agree. You start someone like Osvaldo, who has done nothing to merit him starting, let alone Osvaldo wear the number 10 of La Nacional. Have we lost all touch with reality when Osvaldo is where Osvaldo, Johnny Depp lookalike,
Zorro, yeah.
Zorro, is wearing the number 10 on La Nacional.
Who else?
I even thought earlier in the year I thought it was bad when the number 10 went to Candreva. I've reached another steaming point in my life where Osvaldo's wearing this. He has done nothing. He has done nothing to earn playing on La Nacional, except for being a sub at Juve.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything in EPL. He flopped there too.
Maybe because he brought him, like, you know, he's played him throughout the whole tournament.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And it does not make sense that in a friendly against Spain, I understand he did not want to show a lot of his cards. He played Pauletta, which was nice to see. If we ever have to play a 4-back, that he could insert this guy in there.
Yeah.
He did play well. He doesn't look good, but he played well.
Lama, he's not the most handsomest.
But in the midfield, do you think that there was not some space for a combination of these three guys, Florenzi, Insigne, and Verratti? One of the two of the three had to play. Yes, at the end you brought in Destro. That's fine at the end.
Yeah.
You brought in Immobile again at the end. But Immobile with Torino plays well with Cerci. You don't have Balotelli for this game? Osvaldo, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself, Osvaldo.
You're swearing.
I don't care. I'm swearing because you wore the number 10. Go fuck yourself, Osvaldo. And you put Immobile there because he's done much more than Osvaldo has done. And he plays fantastic with Cerci. Who Cerci had a fantastic game.
I like your comment because you're backing up your comment and you're explaining why.
But it's exactly that. It's just logic. I live in Canada, a very cold country, where we do not have the ability to play soccer all the time. But we watch. And we've been watching Torino. Cerci and Immobile play well together. You want to start Immobile with Cerci to give them a chance? That's how you'll see and you can evaluate Immobile.
Maybe you should call Prandelli.
Maybe. If I had his number, I would call him.
Guys, so next week we're going to take it off, and this Tuesday Champions League will be at Parkway because it's on Sports Network.
Forza Milan for Italy. Forza Milan.
Ciao guys.
Don't suck. Don't suck. Look at this. Don't suck t-shirt.
Ciao, ciao.